What's going on, everyone? Welcome to HiBruiNation, your unofficial home of your now playoff-bound Boston Bruins.
Whoop,
I am
whoop.
Goosey, your host, and joined with me, as always, are the legends in Mr. Hattrick and the Chavo. We're back, baby. We're back in the playoffs. James Hagens' debut as a Boston Bruin has officially occurred. McAvoy and Harris have been nominated for awards, and Mr. Hattrick is turning into a freaking movie star right before our own very eyes, so congratulations to him. And Pastrnak,
Thanks.
for the first time, at least in the past 3 years, may not score 100 points. But the vibes still couldn't be any higher. Guys, good evening. Jack, congratulations on becoming a movie star. What do you have to say about it?
I think we're being pretty generous calling me a movie star. I just worked. I helped out on a cool project that I got connected with from someone I knew at UMass. There was the guy I got connected with. He works on the music side. He's a composer. And he had to help step in and be an actor in this project. But they just needed someone to play one of the characters, and I got connected to him. He was like, "Hey, you interested?" I was like, "Yeah." If viewers are wondering, I've done some theater and acting, very on the low side. Something that I did as well with getting into film and production in college. So yeah, it's fun. Little side gig I like to do when I can, and it was fun. It was a long day, but really cool guys and a pretty wacky project. So all good things. And we won on the road on the regulation to finish our last road game. That's
Right,
pretty
the
good, huh?
Bruins will officially be at 500 hockey to end the season, 16, 16, and 9. Still not as cool as you being a potential movie star. Can't wait for that to hit them big theaters. No release date yet on that soon. You have the face for it.
Oh man, I'd be happy to be in the theaters, but that's I don't know about that.
It's all right, Mr. Hattrick going to movie theaters.
I'm a C-list movie star.
C-list movie star. That's
C-list.
fine. Well, at least Steve and I, who was just like ever so elusive in the shadows, if you guys are watching on YouTube.
He's like,
You look like freaking Emperor Palpatine over there, like,
like,
just sitting there all ominous and stuff like that.
Batman in the shadows.
Word.
What can I say? I was born in the darkness.
I am the shadows.
You're gonna go to the premiere with me, Steve? All dolled up. See Jack's.
Like, I'm just gonna be the regular belle of the ball here.
Guys, we're in the playoffs. We're in a playoff spot. Vibes high still, I'm assuming. Vibes still got to be high.
Oh yeah, man. I mean that game winner that Kastlik had, that was a silky shot, and it was like a great overall shift. They controlled the puck down low, recycling it, getting Columbus, on running all over the place, and they capitalized and got outshot a bunch, but made up for it. Definitely. I think for a bit Columbus was playing a little bit harder and they wanted it, but we had a good response, held strong, and capitalized when we did. So helped us out, I think, and we helped the Flyers, I guess, as well. Which
Fuck them.
I was gonna say we helped them out, but fuck them as well. We don't like them, but I guess that's good for them. And Columbus is very on the fringes now to make it, so that's good.
My vibes are low.
Oh, vibes are low. Boo. Boo. Don't even want to hear it. Boo.
Party
Don't
pooper.
even want to hear it.
Whatever.
Party pooper.
Don't party pooper now.
Finally snapped a 5-game losing streak. Like,
oh God.
And to be fair,
we're in a playoff spot. Can't even be happy we're in a playoff spot.
I was where Steve was at the start of this game because the play. Boo you. The play, as of late,
has been terrible.
Hasn't been very encouraging, and you just don't like seeing like 0-5 as you're creeping towards the playoffs. You need a little bit more, consistently. This is the time, especially once you want to book your spot, which the Bruins have, but you want to be playing consistently, and they haven't been. But tonight was a good response, and hopefully they can close out strong against the Devils and maybe improve their chances a bit to play a team that is in top of the league, like second overall in the league, which would be tough.
Those bastards almost got me on Saturday, but of course they let me down. Like you have a 1-goal lead and you just blow it, and it's just like, God, like why do I even do?
Boo.
What do you mean boo? Like
We
they
still made the
actually
playoffs. Be happy about it.
they played decent for the most part, and then just let it
Well,
fall apart in the third. Like
Yeah, and that's not good. Like that's not good when as you're going into the playoffs. Like
Exactly.
that needs to be locked down, because when you go into the playoffs, there's little to no room for error. It is all about momentum swifts and momentum changes or whatever. But like, you want to be able to lock that down.
Well, boo to you both. But for everyone else who's listening, we have a great show for you guys. We're going to talk about James Hagens' debut, the Bruins matchups in the playoffs that are potentials. If Pastrnak, we got one game left. It's on Tuesday against New Jersey. He's 1 point shy of 100, and he's also 1 goal shy of 9 30-goal plus seasons, which I believe would be the most in Boston Bruins history. We're going to talk about the 3 Muska Bears, which is our version of the 3 best Bruins that we believe have played all year. And before we get started with all of that, we're going to talk about some news. One of them is not related to the Boston Bruins, but one that I thought was kind of cool and kind of exciting. The Utah Mammoth, who, by the way, I think they're just an awesome franchise with what they're doing with their media, everything, like their merchandise. It's all crazy. Have revealed their Zamboni, and I want one. I'm just going to put that out there. I want one. I want a Zam Yogi or a Puboni. Give it to me.
I wonder what Steve thinks of the Zamoth. How excited are you about that, Steve?
This is what franchises do that have no legacy or tradition. When you have 101 years under your belt, you don't need that shit. Sorry,
You're just no fun,
dude. He had the same feelings during the stadium series. I was like, it's cool, Pirates. The theatrics and stuff. Steve's like, it's stupid. It sucks.
Yeah,
it was.
This isn't Pirates of the Caribbean.
This is Pirates of the Caribbean. This is about playing hockey.
Sparrow's not here. Jack Sparrow's not here. Sorry, boys. I still stand by what I said, and I'm sticking with my guns here and saying that when you have tradition and legacy for over 100 years, you don't need stupid shit like that. Sure, is it a cool idea?
But it's fun,
sure, is
though.
it a cool idea? It could be fun. But guess what? You do that to get people to the crowd because you live in Utah. And
that's surprised. What they need to do. Like, they've been around for what, a year or two.
Yeah,
they were
exactly.
the hockey club before.
Exactly. That shit's beneath us. I'm sorry. We're the Boston Bruins. We've been around for 101 years. It's beneath us. We don't need that shit. Sorry.
Dude, no fun. No fun. I want a Zam Yogi or a Puboni. Give it to me. But apparently it doesn't even clean the ice. Funny.
No, it doesn't even clean the ice. It doesn't even clean the ice. It just goes out for show. It's literally to go around and be like, hey guys, go Mammoth.
Don't care. Want one.
I want a Puboni. I think a Puboni would be funny. And then you press the
horn.
The horn.
Yeah, it gets you a little like bear roar or something.
I'm having trouble thinking of filler words. I couldn't think of momentum swings, and then I'm thinking, oh, the horn, but whatever. Yeah, you press the horn.
You guys are suckers for cheap marketing. I'm sorry, you're suckers.
So then, what's good marketing?
Just exactly. I think that's great marketing.
Stick on the ice and puck, and then stick handle and shoot it.
Bad. I said it was cheap. I didn't say it was bad. I said it was cheap. There's a difference, boys. There's a difference.
Okay, but it's better than like the cheesy show that Vegas puts on. At least like this, you can be like, that's a sick freaking ride. Like I want to ride on that, like Zamboni around the ice, and like let's just have some fun with
12? It. What are you, 12, Cam?
Yeah, I am.
You want to go around on a Zamboni in the middle of an intermission?
That would be like the best thing in the world.
Oh my God!
If you've ever seen the show Boy Meets World,
act like it.
If you've ever seen the show Boy Meets World, I'm like that guy in the competition with the billboards. And I'm just like, you ruined this situation for me. I don't even like football. I'm just here because I like billboards. And this was my opportunity to stand on a billboard. Like, I'm that guy. Don't even care. I'm here to ride it.
I want the Puboni. And then you plus the horn and it goes, hey, hoo, hoo. Hey, hey, boo, boo.
Yeah, come on. Come on, Steve. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that wouldn't be
Speaking
awesome.
Of someone's horn, someone just drove by and honked really loud. That was immaculate timing.
And thank you for the update into Jack Vin's life.
I heard
there it is again.
I heard it.
There you go.
I'm not lying.
The second bit of news is McAvoy and Jordan Harris have both been nominated for awards. McAvoy has been nominated for the Bill Masterton Trophy. which is awarded annually to the NHL Hockey League player who is best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to ice hockey. If there's any freaking player that deserves it this year, it's probably Charlie McAvoy's face.
And his dentist.
And his dentist. Yeah, actually, fuck it. Give it to his dentist.
What is this episode so far? It's so fun. I love it.
Give Charlie McAvoy's dentist a 1-day contract with the Boston Bruins, nominate him, and just say this is the guy.
Signed,
This
sealed,
is the
delivered.
guy.
I think he's made enough money from Charlie McAvoy this year alone to be totally satisfied.
Charlie just pulls out his card. He's like, "I'm back again." He's like,
Yeah,
"All right,
credit
yeah,
card.
put it down."
That poor guy's face, dude. I would be surprised. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know the other team's list of nominees. I got to be honest with you. I didn't pay too close attention to who his competition is, but you got to think McAvoy is definitely in the top there to get this award, especially with the injuries that he's sustained and also the career season he's been having. So you got to wonder if he's the front runner, or at least not in the top, or if at least in the top 3. And then, guys, you have Jordan Harris, who is nominated for the King Clancy Award, and this is awarded
about that.
Yeah, it was, I believe, announced yesterday or the day before, so either Friday or Saturday. And that's awarded to the player who exemplifies leadership on and off the ice and has made humanitarian and charitable contributions. Little surprised by Jordan Harris. I don't think he's gonna win this one because he hasn't really played much in the NHL game, so I don't see where his leadership kind of fits in here. Good for him for being nominated. I love the charity and the humanitarian efforts that the Boston Bruins and their organizations do for the communities around them. This is just one that I think Jordan Harris is unfortunately just going to not take home. How do you guys feel about that one?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool that he was nominated for that. He's a part of a storied franchise, and he seems to exhibit a lot of qualities of what makes a good Bruin. And good Bruins, they give back and they are leaders. So if he can be of that, then he's going to be very valuable. So good on Harris.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, good on him. I don't think he'll get it, but good on him for getting nominated.
Yeah, that's definitely surprising, because he was injured for most of the year. But I mean, I think that still goes. It's surprising that he still was. I mean, it says something about his qualities.
Yeah, injured, and he wasn't really playing when he was healthy. So it was just he's been kind of like that person that kind of slots in and out of the lineup. I mean, I think a good guy ultimately. I mean, a hometown guy. He's from Haverhill. I just think this one's going to escape him.
Haverhill,
and unless it's the humanitarian and charitable like donations and contributions that he's done that really set him above the line. But I think it's the leadership aspect that
he's not there yet.
I think it's just going to miss. The biggest news this week was after the loss to Carolina in OT 6-5, I believe it was Tuesday, the Bruins announced they had signed James Hagens to his entry-level contract on Wednesday. He practiced Thursday with the team. Signing this contract, though, for those of you who do not know and still keep wondering, he is now ineligible to return to Providence for any AHL playoff games, irrespective of the Bruins season ending. So that means he is now just stuck up here, so better play him. He debuted against the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight, which being Sunday, and he got a point against them. It was a secondary assist on the Yoki Haru goal that I believe is in the second period that saw the Bruins go up 2-1 before the final score of 3-2. What'd you guys think?
Thought he looked good. Again, another even bigger jump from the AHL to the NHL. So, the legs weren't really there at the start, but each shift he got better. His awareness and skill was apparent. And I think that's all you can expect. You'd be happy for right now. I think expectations of him have been like, oh, he's going to be this immediate impact, or, no, he's going to need more time, so we need to tamper them. So, like, the kind of discourse on him is very up and down. Some people think, like, he's being overhyped. Some people think, he's exactly where he needs to be. I thought he looked good. He was a big factor in that shift. He had a great forecheck, tied a guy up on the wall, waited for supports. Supports came in. and he apparently got a point. It didn't look like watching back that he had touched the puck enough, but I guess he did. I don't know. Either way, I was, definitely happy with it. He is going to be a fantastic Bruin. So, and now that he's ineligible to go back, you got to play him. You got to get him adjusted. And I think, probably come game 1 or 2 of the playoffs, he'll be even better than he is now. So, and that's all you can know for. But I'm very intrigued to hear your guys' discourse. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to step back. Just let it happen.
I thought he was okay out there. Like, again, it's the first game in the NHL, big jump from the AHL to the NHL. There was times where to me, he looked flat-footed. And I guess that's to me, it looked like it was just a part of the adjustment period. And that's okay because, again, it's a big jump from the AHL to the NHL. But I'm going to give credit where credit's due. As the game went on, he did look better, and he was playing better during the game. And that's okay. But this is about expectations for a guy who does no playing experience in the NHL. So it's you have to take it with a grain of salt. That's
it. I don't disagree with Steve saying that every shift he got better and better. I agree with that completely. I think you look at him like when he starts his first shift, you're getting the jitters out. You're getting used to it a little bit immediately. The only thing where I kind of disagree is I didn't see notice many instances where he was flat-footed. I guess it depends on what you would define by that definition. But I agree with both of you that he was good. I mean, he got the point. I agree with Jack. It didn't look like there was much on that. In fact, I was kind of surprised they gave him the point. I'm happy that they did. But again, I think the kid showed his talent. He played the entire game on the third line with Houston, Dadonov, and Minton. I think that's that's a thrown together line that's going to need time to get some adjustments. But if you look at his passing, he would receive it on the breakout pass. I mean, he's quick with the decision making. He doesn't really hold on to the puck too long. It looks like he's reading the game very well. I mean, as NHL players will play against him, they'll learn that about him, and then he's going to have to adjust. So I agree with you, Steve. You need to take it with a grain of salt. The only thing I just wonder is I don't know where you say he was kind of flat-footed.
There was a couple times where he was in good position, and to me, it looked like he was surprised to get the puck, and he didn't make the best play or best shot attempt out of it. Was his shots on net? Sure. Did he make something out of nothing? Sure. I think that's a credit to skill level, but also you're a professional athlete playing for the Boston Bruins. You can't be surprised when you get the puck, right? If you're in a decent enough position, this goes for every level, right? It can go from professional level to all the way to mites and squirt level, where if you're open, you get the puck, you can't be surprised you're getting the puck. And so it just looked to me he was flat-footed and got caught off guard when making these attempts. Did he recover and get a shot on net or a good pass? Yes, but to me, it looked like he was being flat-footed. Did he forecheck good? Yes, because you're already in motion there. But there was a couple times that, particularly in the offensive zone, where he kind of was standing still, and then it looked to me he was surprised that he got the puck. So that's where I'm coming off with flat-footed. You should be moving to, I guess, higher danger area or creating a play in the high danger area, right? And that's not necessarily a knock against him. That seems like minor adjustment things that they're going to look at in the film and say, hey, instead of doing what you did here, be prepared to here and do XYZ, right? Like, I think that is little minuscule things that are going to, or minuscule critiques that are going to help his development in the NHL that much better. And that's okay. Yeah. That's what we're doing now. Where again, he's played one game at the pro level, and he needs to develop, and that's what you're looking at. You're looking at things where he can improve his game and make more of an impact than he does. And I rewatched that play from a different angle where he got the point when he pinned that guy against the boards. I can't remember the name, but it looked like he kicked out from his skate. He kicked it out. and it popped out, and then that's why he got that secondary assist, because it was a pop. He kicked it out, and then there was a pass back to Yoki Haru, who scored.
Fair enough then. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say that at first that he was a little surprised, and that's going to come with when you're playing your first NHL shifts. And like, I'm wondering, like, do you think that improved a little bit as the game went on? Like, he got a little less surprised, because it seemed like he did, and that's come to be expected once you get your feet more underneath you. But do you think, like, you do need to be ready, just ready when when the puck is on your stick and you've got options and stuff in front of you as the game's faster and faster as you start playing at higher and higher levels. So do you think he looked a little less surprised as it went on? Because I think he did.
For the most part, yeah. I think there was still a couple times where it was like, oh, okay, that's what it was. But again, it's not a knock against him. It's
Yeah,
he's adjusting to the game. That's what I'm chalking it up to.
Yeah, and I think that adjustment came with as the game went on. It didn't like fully get there, and it shouldn't have been. It's his first game, so it's like we can't expect him to be, get the puck on the stick, be in the play, and then boom, just be able to do it. Like that is going to come with his development. So I think it's safe to say that, yeah, there was a little bit of that surprise factor for him being there, and it even looked like a couple of times when he went back to the bench. It's funny, my dad said this, like the first shot of him on the bench, my dad was like, he looks like he's taking it all in. Like, he looks like he's just like, wow, I can't believe I'm here. And I was like, yeah, I'd have to agree. Now he's at the penultimate point. And so that adjustment is going to come with time. And that's why, again, like, I think by the time he gets to the playoffs and that intensity is ramped up, like, he's going to get there and he's going to match it. Like, this guy, he has the potential to be a gamer, a guy who's in the play, playing hard. He's got great skill, and he's just going to get better with every opportunity out there. So, Goosey.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go by that definition, I mean, I guess, but I would chop that up to more of learning the line chemistry with Minton and Houston Nidov. And again, Steve, I like the point that you brought up. It's not really a knock against James Hagens. He's learning to play with his line mates. I think that's what you're more alluding to. And I think that's fine, right? And I think for his first game, showing the grit that he did, going into that forecheck against, like, because some of these Columbus guys, they're big. They're big guys. You know what I mean?
They're fast.
And they're fast. And he had a couple good strips of the puck. Like, he got that, I think, what was it? He got the penalty on Charlie Coyle for chicken winging the stick or something like that. I think that was a makeup call. I watched the replay on that, and I'm like, that's one that normally doesn't really get called that often, but the Bruins did get away with a too many men penalty.
They missed an egregious too many men penalty. I mean, Rick Bowen was up on his bench and screaming at the refs.
So that's fine. That's okay. Like, you deal with that. You get used to the speed. I'm pretty sure even he understood that that was really a makeup call, because there really was not a lot there, especially if Charlie Coyle wraps his arm around it. So that is what it is. But in overall, how do you guys feel like his first game has impacted the people who say he wasn't ready? Sorry, my goodness, I'm fumbling on my words here. For the people who said that he wasn't ready, for the people who critiqued Sweeney for even signing the ELC, saying blah blah blah, he needs to spend more time in Providence and all of that jazz. Because personally, I think he was ready, and he showed that tonight.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, ready in the sense like he's not going to be fully adjusted right away and to his teammates and be able to slide in that well, I guess, really, which is what we're kind of all in contention with each other here. But as far as that goes, yeah, I mean, he looked great out there, and he's gonna take a while to be adjusted. So it's you do have to take it with a grain of salt. But I think yeah, I'm just saying the same thing over and over. But it's I'm happy that he's getting game time, and and as the game went on, he got better. And that's someone who's picked high enough that you gotta get them in there and get them playing. So
yeah, for me, he was okay, right? You got a point. There's a glimmer of hope for the future, right? And that's fine by me. It's just he signed the LC and then they didn't play him against Tampa, and it's like, okay, well, he can't be sent down to Providence, so to me, like, the risk reward ratio is off. That's what it feels like to me, because I'm not trying to like get into the future conversation of the Bruins and the playoff sweep or no sweep or whatever it is, but what if they do get swept? Now he's only played 6 games in the play in the NHL, and now you're taking away the opportunity for him to go back down to Providence and continue playing at a high level, and hopefully for a deep run with the Providence Bruins and getting more experience down there. It's like the risk reward ratio for me just seems off. I'm not necessarily mad that he signed it. It just seems suspicious to me, where to me, I didn't want him to burn the ELC, a year of the ELC, especially when the Providence Bruins are gearing up for a late push, for multiple rounds in the playoffs, where that means it's more game time for him at a higher level than he's used to, and I think that's overall a good thing for him. I don't know. It's just weird. I'm not questioning Hagens as much as I'm questioning Sweeney. It's not. I don't have any problems with the kid himself. I think eventually he will be he will be something good, and he will be a bright spot on this Bruins team in the future. I have no doubt in my mind that that's going to happen. It's just you sign it, you don't let him play. What's the difference between having him play 2 games and 3 games? It's just suspicious to me, and I want this kid to develop properly and get as much playing time at a high elite level as he can. That way, in the future, it will pay off dividends for the big club.
Do you think he was ready? Because that was a lot of kind of like, it's not really on Hagens. I questioned Sweeney. So it sounds like you thought Hagens was ready, but you questioned Sweeney's decision to bring him up so close to the playoffs. So I guess
he's ready enough. I guess he's ready enough. He can go out there and play with the big boys. It's just the decision behind it of letting this kid develop into something that's going to be a bright spot in the thing. So is he ready? He's ready enough. He proved it today. He went out there and did his job, didn't lose any shifts, and did enough to get on the score sheet, right?
So you would have liked to see just Hagens more early.
Sure,
if you had the opportunity.
I mean, yeah, sure, definitely. My questions lie with Sweeney with what he's seeing. Sweeney thinks he's ready. Okay, cool, but for 3 games, is it
2 now?
Well, 2 now, right? Well, but when he signed it, it was the potential for 3 games plus clinching the playoffs, so that's at least 4 games, right? So a total of 7 games he's going to play. Is the risk reward for this kid to be playing 7 games at the minimum worth burning the whole year off, as opposed to staying down in Providence and getting hopefully a deep cup Calder Cup run down there and getting that much more experience because he's playing till June, right? Like what is overall the best decision for this kid?
Sure. Okay. No, I think that's a hotly contested debate too. I think you'll find more people in favor of agreeing with the fact that he's up and he's going to play meaningful games in the playoffs. I think you'll find more of that. I think it's fair to scrutinize Sweeney. I think it will be unfair, though, if people try to say about James Hagens that, he only had 1 point in 4 games in the playoffs. Bust city. Should have kept him down in Providence. Blah, 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 blah. Should have done that. No, stupid. What do you expect out of this? Like, he's not Connor McDavid. He's not, these first overall picks. He's a first round 7th overall pick, which is a good pick, but stop trying to pretend that he's going to be like this immediate 150 point person. It's unreasonable.
And, maybe that's in response to like people saying that because like we've hyped him up. We've hyped him up a lot, and there's a lot of hype surrounding him, and that fact that he's not having this like immediate impact and just being this super all-star, that he's a bust. And I don't think that's true at all. And Steve does make a good point. If he only gets about 6 games now after you chose not to play him for a game and he's not sent down to Providence, that's time that he's missing out on. And the AHL is still very competitive, and he was playing well down there and getting better with each shift in each game there as well. And now his sample size to get a taste of pro hockey is drastically shortened because they wanted to sign him to an ELC, effectively removing him from the ability to play in the AHL playoffs. So I think it's a risk reward factor, definitely. I like how Steve put that as well. So, and the risk might be rather high right now because this team's going to have to fight and claw their way to
It's not a risk.
to win a playoff round and get him more games instead of only getting a few, and when he could be playing upwards of 10, 15 plus in the AHL playoffs, which is still pro hockey and really good experience. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning a little bit with Steve, but I'm happy. I'm happy he's with the big boys. I am, because I think that's ultimately where he needs to be and where he's going to be. But you did, take a gander at signing him now when thinking about this. So
Risk is low. You got to imagine for a player like this, you can say you could disagree, but I don't think these 6 games or these 4 games, whatever you're going to have him play, it's not going to hinder his development. It's just not. It's an unrealistic thing to say that it's going to hinder his development. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just not. He's kid's 19 years old, very malleable. If he was still playing like crap at 22 or 23 years old, then yes, you can start having those concerns. But I think where I'm at with Hagens right now, I'm not looking for the points he can produce on the board in the playoffs. I'm looking at what he can learn and what he can do and how can he adapt. And if he can show that he can do that, then the points are going to come. It's like, when I see all these people say he only has 4 points in 6 games in Providence, or I think that's the number, or 5 points in 6 games. It's one of those values. It's just like, it's not what he can just do on the scoreboard. It's what he does off the, when he's not on the scoreboard either. It's like, those are the things you have to look at too. Like, you know what I mean? That's just what I believe in Hagens. So as we enter the playoffs for Hagens, I'm excited to see what he can do as he gets, another game under his belt in New Jersey. My expectations are going to be tempered if we play against Carolina, but I'm not expecting him to score hat tricks or be a point per game player in the playoffs. I'm expecting him to be adaptable. I'm expecting him to be someone who's willing to learn and take it all in, that he did today.
Yeah, but it's just
that's
more
ultimately going to make him a better player.
It's just more on though, but you have he's now going to be able to play way less games than he could have been, which is what I agree with on Steve. Like it is very valuable for him to be here, and it's but I'll let Steve go.
The thing that I want to reiterate is just because he could play 4 games in the playoffs doesn't mean he's going to. So already there's a thing where the risk of that is cool. Maybe he only plays 2 games in the playoffs, right? That's the risk. So he only has 3 or 4 games of experience. The thing that I'm trying, the main point that I'm trying to get here is I don't think him not playing in the big club is going to hinder his development. I think getting more games under his belt is very important for his development in general, because it's about repetition at an elite level, and taking away the ability to have him play longer in the season under a team that actually is really good in the Providence Bruins, which will help him. It's not going to hurt him playing in the big club, but I do think there is something to say about the experience and the amount of experience he's getting in his first year. There, you can't take away. You can't say that while it's not the professional, but him jumping from college to the AHL and getting more games under his belt with guys who've been in the AHL and they're certified AHLers.
That's fine.
That's the thing. It's going to help him. In fact,
that's fine. That's where I agree with you, Steve.
I'm trying to get at is by him playing more games. That's obviously going to help him. It's just the risk reward with the playoffs is he could play 4 games. He could play 1 game. That's the thing.
That's on Sturm. I'm going to say it that, and we can get into the playoffs too, and then we can talk about the playoff picture and what the future lineups could potentially look like too as we develop those matchups. But you're right, Steve. That is probably the only risk associated with James Hagens right now is that if Sturm decides not to play him, then yes, I think that's actually a failure on Sturm. Play the kid, just play him.
You might as
He's
well.
better than AC. He's better than AC Mont. He's better than Reichel.
You have to. You've taken the chance to sign him, so now you have him signed, and you only have a certain amount of games. So
I don't want to beat this till we're blue in the face because we've done it so long in the past. Because I would much rather discuss it when we talk about the playoffs, which we will next. Because our most likely playoff matchup is going to be against Carolina, and that's a team that I'm not really so much scared of their offense not that I'm so much scared of their defense as much as I am scared of their offense and their ability to forecheck. That's so shifting over to the playoffs. If Hagens is going to play those games, because he'll be part of this conversation as we go through the rest of our topics. In Carolina, you're going to need offense against Carolina. Yep. You're going to need that kind of offensive creativity.
They're going to smother you every single shift. They're going to come at you hard and hard and hard, and they're going to keep you in your zone, and they're going to wear you down. So
and right now, Carolina's, I think we have 80% chance, I think, of playing against Carolina right now. I think that went up because I think Ottawa is winning their game against New Jersey as we speak. I don't know that. I don't know for sure. There is still a chance where Ottawa loses their next game and the Bruins could win against New Jersey, and then we play against Tampa, Buffalo, or Montreal, one of those three teams. I like my odds better against one of those three teams than I do against Carolina. But those are the four teams we're realistically looking at. But as of tonight, I believe that the general consensus is that Boston is likely going to get Carolina in round one.
It is currently tied against the Senators and Devils in overtime. Actually, no. Yes, it is still tied, but I think overtime just ended. So maybe they're going to a shootout. Little live update. But yeah, because that plays a factor in who they're going to play. Right now it says, because we've moved back up to wild card 1. Ottawa is at number 2. So we'll see.
So there's a chance that we don't play Carolina, like I said. But that is probably going to be our most likely.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
That's fine. I don't like how we match up against Carolina.
I don't either. I don't think. I think we'll get a gentleman's sweep out of Carolina. That's the God's honest truth. If I had to pick one team that I'd rather play against is Buffalo. I think we've matched up against them really well all season, and I think that will go 7 games. And I think we have in percentiles. I think we have a higher percentile in over a 7-game series to beat Buffalo, move to the second round, than against Tampa or the Carolina Hurricanes. Both of those teams scared the shit out of me.
Tampa and Carolina?
Yeah. Tampa. I actually, if I'm going to put a rank of number 2, I'd like to play Montreal.
That would be fun. That would be a fun series.
That'd be a fun series. But also, I did watch the Tampa-Montreal game, and boy, oh boy, those two teams are likely to meet in the playoffs at either the first round or second round. And boy, oh boy, will that be a good series. That was a good game, and I hate both of those teams. I was entertained, and there was basically a fight every whistle, and that's a pretty good matchup against each other, especially if they get it in the first round and beat the shit out of each other, and we beat Buffalo. Maybe we can make something happen. But I don't want any part of Tampa. I don't want any part of Carolina.
Yeah, me neither. Those two teams are tough. They'll be really tough. I do like Buffalo as well.
Jack has said it several times that he likes Buffalo.
So is Steve.
Yep, so have I. I've said it a dozen times.
Our most likely win could be against Buffalo. Montreal just lost Dobish for 2 weeks, by the way.
Oh, that's big then.
That
hurts them, but
I agree there, Jack. For Tampa Bay and Carolina, I'm scared of Vasilevsky. I'm scared of Carolina. I'm scared of Tampa Bay. The Bruins just haven't respected Tampa Bay. That's their issue. All season, they have not respected the Tampa Bay Lightning. They just haven't respected that opponent. They've blown 2 leads, one of them in the Stadium Series and one of them on Saturday. And that Stadium Series lead was atrocious. You shouldn't have lost that game. They have not respected Tampa Bay all season. Carolina, they've been scoring goals against. They scored 5.
That was just last game, though. I don't know if we look at them this entire year. I don't know if we've scored that many against them, but
no, I don't think so. I agree with
but
you.
They did. I think for most of that game, I mean, they played well. I mean, but Carolina just played a little better.
I am probably a little bit more scared of Tampa Bay than I am Carolina, because Carolina, you have Brandon Bussey or you have Anderson. With Tampa Bay, you have Vasilevsky. You're going to go against Hedman, Radish, that defense, arguably one of the best first lines in the NHL in Braden Point, Jake Gensel, and Nikita Kucherov. I think I'm a little bit more scared of Tampa Bay than I am Carolina.
No, that's fair. That is a really good first line.
With regards of the Bruins not respecting Tampa, I'm going to disagree there. I just think that in the last game we played against them, we played very timid against them in the third period, and we weren't matching up well against them. And I don't think that overall the matchups with it are good. It's just they've been a kryptonite to us all season, and I just don't know what the Bruins can even do to even make up that difference. It's just I wouldn't even say it's respect. It's just the fact that the Bruins can't play against them because of their goaltending, because of their first 2 lines, because of their defense. There's a lot that goes into it.
Remind me, with respect to which team again?
Tampa.
Sorry, I cut out a little bit there for a second, so I missed it. Yep, I agree. In fact, I think Montreal or Buffalo are probably your 2 best bets.
Yep.
Especially with Dobish out.
Yeah, well, now Dobish out, I mean, that's huge. You know, I think Montreal still possesses a lot of speed, and they have a Bruins killer in Cole Caulfield.
Well,
I hate that guy because he's
Same.
so good. Like, I don't hate him for a justifiable reason. I hate him because he's so good, and he scores on us multiple times, every single time. So that in a 7-game series terrifies me. But yeah, I mean, you make a good point, Cam. Now thinking about Tampa as well, they are pretty heavy up front, and you got Vasilevsky. You really do. Either or, I don't want to play Carolina or Tampa. You know, it's likely that you're going to play one of the other. You know, it'd be nice if you got Montreal or Buffalo, but I don't know if things are going to get shaken up that much within these last few games. I don't know. I think that top 3 is pretty solidified. I meant either the 1 or 2 might swap around, but so playoff Vasilevsky is scary when he's on.
Well, what do you guys think the Bruins' concerns are going into the playoffs then? Goaltending, turnovers, discipline, offense, defense, all of the above, none of the above?
Turnovers, discipline, and defense. You know, if you can have 2, 3 out of those on lock, the other, you know, you can make up for not having the other. But if your defense and discipline is off, yeah, you could kiss that series goodbye. So, you know, because the details are so important. They really are come playoffs. And, you know, you need your defense to be strong back there, to be making good plays. And, you know, love the guy. Sure, he's a great guy, as we've said, but, you know, come playoffs, Lorai, you know, you need to make sure you're making smart decisions. And I worry about that. So
for me, it's definitely discipline as number 1, turnovers number 2, and defense is number 3 as well. It's just if you keep your discipline in check, your defense will be okay. If you keep your turnovers in check, your defense will be okay. I think the first 2 lead into the defense as a whole. You can't be turning over the puck very dumbly or very stupidly, sorry. And you can't be taking dumb penalties wearing out your guys. That's just, I think the first 2 I mentioned feed into the overall defense, and without the first 2, you have no defense. And I think with the first 2, you can make a solid attempt and have a solid performance on a defensive night.
Solid. No, I think it's a solid expectation. My next question before we can, you know, maybe wrap up this conversation or go into some line possibilities as we go go into this playoff conversation. Bring back James Hagens as well into this fold, and where he probably fits in as we enter. Who would you guys rather face out of those 4 teams? Carolina, Tampa Bay, Montreal, or Buffalo? And why?
I was strong on Buffalo. Montreal is now making me question things, but I don't. Buffalo. Just because they haven't been in the playoffs for so long. I mean, they do have experienced guys on their roster. You got Alex Tuck, and you do have Tage Thompson, who just won a gold medal. And, I think they're really going to rally behind each other. But, they haven't been in the playoffs as for a while, and the Bruins have at least experienced that, obviously being in the playoffs and being able to go against the hard things in which you face in the playoff series. And so, I think we could take them in 7 games. So I will go with Buffalo.
I want Buffalo because I want James Hagens to play as much as he possibly can. And I think in Buffalo, it gives us our best shot to make it to the second round because that series is going to go 6 games at least. And I want this kid to play as much as possible. And also, I do like the way the Bruins have matched up against Buffalo all season. I think it's been a good matchup for the Bruins, and with that, it gives James Hagens the best opportunity to get as many games as possible. Because my concern is him not playing and being, just sitting around early in the summer, right? I want this kid to play and get experience because that'll help our future.
I want Montreal.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
If there's a world that exists where that is a possibility, I want Montreal. Again, I'm not sure how any of these really work. I haven't really looked that closely to the standings, if I'm going to be honest with everyone. But if there's a world that exists that we can play Montreal, I want them. And there is actually a world where it exists. If Tampa and Buffalo both lose out their games and Montreal gets a win against the Flyers, and we get the wild card 1, then we get Montreal. I would love Montreal. Would love it. There is a world where that exists.
It'd be great for hockey. It'd be great for rivalries,
Yep.
I want that in the second round, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't mind Montreal in round 1, potentially Buffalo in round 2, because I think Tampa will kick the shit out of whatever team they play. And so I think Buffalo can come out against Tampa. Montreal, I'm a little bit more worried about. I think we have a good chance against Montreal. I think those guys are still young. They still need some more playoff experience. I think Sway has that. He's the better goal. We have the better goaltender. I think they have the better offense and the better defense, I think. But I think there's a night where the Bruins defense structurally, as it's sound right now, could be better because of McAvoy, Lindholm, and if everyone played to their pedigree. I think you have that. Plus, you have the guys that won a gold medal. You have some Olympians on both of those teams. But I would also imagine that the Bruins have a good matchup against Montreal. And then I hope that we could get Buffalo in round 2. That's who I want. I think it'd be great for ratings.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's exciting. Bruins Montreal playoffs, right? There's really nothing quite like it.
That's a story. That's a storied matchup that goes back since the start of hockey. So
it does. And I think that would be fun. It would be frustrating because we both have Matt and Rick as part of our team that are Montreal Canadiens fans. So if we lose to them, it would be insufferable. But I love them all the same, and I would congratulate them on a good game. And I think that's another game that goes at least 6 games.
Or another game that goes 6 games.
It's a game. We have a game. It's Inception, buddy. We're going a game inside of a game inside of a game 6 times. No, it would be a series that goes 6 games. That would be my best guess. Everyone out there will probably say I'm crazy picking Montreal over Buffalo. because Buffalo's inexperienced. But you have to remember, guys, there are players on that Buffalo team that have been to Stanley Cup finals.
Exactly. That's
And
the
Bo
one thing that
Byram
benefits them.
won a Stanley Cup. So there are people who have playoff experience on that team and significant playoff experience. So I'd rather Tampa Bay beat the shit out of them and see what that they can do. As for the lines going into the playoffs, you got to imagine the defense is pretty set. Aspero McAvoy, Lindholm Lowry, Zadorov, Yoki Haru. I think you got to go with Yoki Haru. I don't think Andrew Peak is it.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Yuki Haru. He's been playing great as of late. Got another goal tonight. I think if he keeps that play, like kind of what you alluded to in the chat earlier, Cam, that all of a sudden now your defense is actually that much better because now he's playing to where I think the player in which you wanted him to be and what he played last year after post trade deadline when you got him. We were like, oh wow, okay, this guy might be a really good fit. And then this season it hasn't really built to that, but I think he's finally coming around. Just a quick note, shout out him.
Phenomenal point. No, I agree. Agree with you. Agree with you 100%. Well, I agree because I also said it, but that's besides the point. Like, I
know.
But
I was boosting your point really, but yeah.
But and I don't think anyone's really going to disagree with those pairings, right? It's kind of like what you've been going with. It's kind of like what's worked. The question is, what are your options for the forward core? I got to be honest with you.
Your first option is some Bruins fans are going to love it, and some are going to say, like Steve, what are you thinking?
Well, no. There's several iterations of which this could take.
Yeah.
Personally, if I was doing the lineup, I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to put Hagens with Lindholm and Pastrnak.
First line, guys. We're going to put Hagens on the first line.
I am. I'm going to put I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to take the risk.
They're calling. I'm just calling it right now. They're calling us homers already, but we got to own it, man.
I would. No, call me a homer. Call me whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. I don't.
Shout out TikTok comments.
Cry all the way to bed. I don't really care. There's several options. This is what I would do because I would take the risk for it. I like Geeky Lindholm and Pastrnak, but the problem is if that's the only line producing, it's not good enough. It's not going to beat Carolina. It's not going to beat Montreal. It's not going to beat any of those teams. You have your
second line, which they didn't play tonight because they're resting. But I think that second line is going to be dynamite in the playoffs.
You only had Middlestat playing, but still,
yeah.
Irrespective of that, it doesn't matter. Then you go Middlestat, Zacha, Arvidsson. Again, this is my lineup. What I would do, you keep Reichel, Minton, and Geeky because that worked. Or you could even flip Minton and Lindholm, whatever you want to do. Again, there's several iterations of which this could take place. And then you have Janot Koralik Kostelic because you need someone to beat the fuck out of other people for you as well. That's what I would do. That's one of my options. You don't like it? That's fine. If you want to swap Geeky and Hagens, sure. I don't give a shit. Fine. Do whatever you want. But I am not above risking seeing Hagens on the first line with Pastrnak.
I think if you need a spark, like if the series starts and likely they're going to go something with option 2. I just think like that's more of a realistic option. For preference, this is kind of like options that we both have listed out on our friendly document when we are referencing options. But if their offense isn't clicking and they need a spark, I think absolutely they're going to move Hagens up to that first line and to see what that could be. I don't hate it as well. Like, he's a skill guy, and we're going to need as much offense as we get in these playoffs to generate against whoever we get, whether it's someone to the likes of Buffalo or Montreal or Carolina. We're going to need a hard punching offense to be able to compete against those teams' speed and forecheck. So, I don't hate something of option 1, but I think the Bruins are going to go with something of option 2 to start, and then they're going to interchange a few players maybe here and there.
So Geeky, Lindholm, Pasta, you're going to keep that first line together?
Yes, yeah, definitely am. Again, Lindholm is just he's not your most ideal 1C, but Zacha's become a great 2C on that second line. So I mean, you got to use him where you can. So yeah, Geeky, Lindholm, Pasta, Middlestat, Zacha, Arvidsson. That's your top 6, and then I think you can keep the bottom 6 how it is.
Keep the kid line together. So Hagens, Minton, Hootsie. And Janot, Curls, and Cast.
Yeah, I mean, I think a third line that might get pretty eaten up a lot. Might get eaten up a lot in the playoffs at times. They might get stuck in their own zone a good amount. But if they can withstand that and then bring it to the your offensive zone and start cooking, then that's good. But just keep that third line out of the defensive zone because they could get eaten up alive. That's just what I think.
Steve.
I'm not touching that second line whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't think no one is. No one
Second
is.
and fourth line are closed.
I think there's an opening for fourth line. But
So do you want to put in like Steves or something, or maybe AC Mont? AC Mont. He had a good game tonight. He had a good game.
He had a good game tonight. It all depends on what game we're in and what the situation is, right? Like
exactly. I think that is
situational.
contingent upon what the lineup is going to be.
Yeah.
Like
And-
you need some punch. Throw Hagens first line. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so where my concerns is, Jack, I'm with you. I think the Hagens, Mitten, and Kustadinov line might just get eaten the fuck up out there.
They're a kid line. They're fun. Like you get them on the rush and then and crashing hard to the net, then you're gonna get some good results. But they get stuck in the defensive zone.
It could be a
God,
nightmare.
I don't know. It could be a nightmare. It really could.
It really could, and that's just because they're young, right? Like
Yes,
they're young.
yes.
All three of them are very young, and I think all three of them have very high upside, right? And that's okay. It's just for situationally. I think for game one, you have to kind of keep it the way it is. You want to get a spark. You don't want to in the playoffs. You don't want to get behind the 8 ball right off the bat, right? You kind of, especially since we're in the wild card, we're going to be on the road, right?
Yeah,
it just is what it is. I think you need to kind of keep. Let me just pull up the sheet real quick, so I don't lose my train of thought. It's just you kind of have to keep Geeky, Lindholm, Pasta, and that second line there, and then. It's just, for me, is the big thing is the Hagens, Mitten, Kustadinov line, because for me, I'm just gonna say it. I don't even care if I get eaten alive in the comments. It is what it is. Geeky and Kustadinov without Pasta have kind of seemed lackluster.
What line did you say? Sorry.
Well, no, Kustadinov and Geeky without Pastrnak.
Yeah.
Lackluster. So that's my problem with it, is just if I'm going out the gate, I'm keeping my top line as Geeky, Lindholm, Pasta, because that line is proven to score and proven to go, and you have a really good second line, one of the best in the NHL to go. But where we really need some contributions is from that third line. That's to swing the game. And of course, you have your fourth line out there to be grinders, bang bodies, and beat the shit out of people. And I understand that in the playoffs, that's how it has to be. But if you get caught down, 2-1, 3-1,
Okay,
you might have to change it up.
Okay, fine. Third iteration. Husnudinov, Lindholm, Pastrnak, Hagens, Minton, Geeky.
I actually don't hate that.
Because you can't.
Because I was just gonna say, because in an option 2, or with you don't have Reichel, and I think with what he's been able to provide right now, I
Put him on the fourth line.
I think that's someone you need to have in your playoff lineup. Like you really do. He adds speed, size, wicked shot as well. He's got a lot of great parts to him, and I think he's very valuable. So if you can find a way to have Hagens and Reichel in the lineup, you do that.
Put him on the fourth line if you want Reichel in there. That's fine too. But all I'm saying is, like, you can't keep Geeky, Lindholm, and Pastrnak together if you're worried about like producing offense or anything like that, because then you're not going to get anything out of your bottom 6. Because if you keep that kid line together, I agree with you both that they can get trapped in the defensive zone. It's not great. So I think the third iteration might be the best one. Hootsie, Lindholm, Pastrnak, because Hootsie goes into the corners. He's good at the puck retrieval. Lindholm's a respectable two-way forward. And then you have Pastrnak who can facilitate plays. I would like it if Pastrnak can actually get on the scoreboard a bit more, but I'll settle for his playmaking ability. And so long as like someone else on that line can finish, that's okay. Middlestat, Zaka, Arvidsson, you're not touching it. It's fine. That's been working. But then if you really want to try and get Geeky also going, put him with an elite playmaker like Hagens. I mean, I know someone might ostracize me and say like, oh, elite playmaker. His passing is good enough where you can be like, if Geeky's open, I bet you he could find him.
Hagens is going to find him. Absolutely.
And then you have a responsible two-way forward in Minton on that line as well. And Geeky's not shy of the D zone either. So I think that's fine. I think that might be your best iteration. And if you really want Reichel in there, then you go Reichel, Curls, and Kostelic, because Curls can throw hits, Kostelic can throw hits, and Reichel, fine, some speed and some talent on that line. Otherwise, if you really want to beat the fuck out of someone, Tanner fucking Jeannot.
I really respect the speed of Reichel's game, and I hope that can happen on that fourth line, because I
think Janelle's a valuable player to have in the playoffs.
I think he is too, but I want speed to sustain pressure in the offensive zone.
Yep.
And I think Reichel does a really good job of sustaining speed and keeping things in the offensive zone and creating pressure down there. And I also have to respect Kostelic, who bangs bodies hard in the corners, especially and keeps up the pressure on that goaltending. Once it hits a point, it's going to boil over, and it's going to allow the third line to score, the first line to score, the second line to score, because the pressure is sustained, and it's going to catch the goalie off guard, and it's going to make him work a little bit more.
And you want to know why that's important? It keeps the puck out of our defensive zone.
Yeah, exactly.
We need the puck out of our defensive zone against a really good team that we are probably going to play in the playoffs. Like we need to keep it out of there.
You can still have plenty of piss and vinegar in that lineup without having someone absolutely doing a light up, like, open ice hit or boards check. You can have piss and vinegar with a very, very prominent forecheck, and that's how you win hockey games. So good.
Especially in the playoffs.
It matters. Where Carolina's goalie's down. Brandon Bussey hasn't been that great since January. Neither is Freddie Anderson. So if you get Carolina, a forecheck is probably how you're going to beat that team. You get Montreal, if Dobish is out, and if they're, I think Jacob Fowler is his name, and that's a lot of pressure to put on Jacob Fowler and Sam Montembeault. So if you get either of those goaltenders and you can apply pressure to them and constant pressure and get their defense to move, again, with a young defensive core and a young team like Montreal, yeah, you can really make them pay. You can force them into mistakes. That's how you beat teams like that. A team like Tampa or Buffalo, where they're bigger. Hi, Piper. Shout out Jack's cat. But a team like Tampa Bay or Buffalo, then I'll lean towards Jeannot. I'll lean towards some heavier bodies, because that's how you're going to beat teams like that.
Absolutely. You need definitely heavier against teams like that, because that is what they're going to be throwing at you. But you need speed against Carolina and Montreal.
And I think that will do it for our playoff talk, and we'll pivot to a very important question. David Pastrnak. He is 1 goal shy of 30, which would be his 9th 30-plus goal season as a Bruin. Not consecutive, just 9th, which I believe would be the most in Bruins history, which makes him also 1 point away from 100 points in the season. There is 1 game left to play. It's Tuesday against New Jersey Devils at home. Question being is, do they rest him or do they play him? And could he if he plays, let's make this assumption, could he possibly miss on a 100-point season? If he gets 100, it would be his 4th consecutive 100-point season, which makes him 1 behind Phil Esposito and 2 behind Bobby Orr for most consecutive seasons.
I think it's likely he rests, but Pasta likes to play. He's always in favor of playing if he can. And I don't know how much personal accolades mean to him, but I could see him wanting to just, top it off and get 100 and, finish the season strong, because then he'll have his rest after. But I say that as, like where his head's at, being like, oh, I might just want to go and finish strong. But I think the likelihood is he's going to rest. So he might not get it. He might not get 100 points. And also a 30 goal season, which he hasn't had one since the 2020-2021 season, if my memory is serving
the lockout.
right.
Or no, I'm sorry, the COVID year.
Yeah, the shortened COVID year. So yeah, I think it's likely he is, because they're gonna want to have the big boys at 100% and ready to go. But I as a fan, I would like to see him get 100 points.
Cool. Jack, if he plays, does he hit it?
Yeah.
Does he hit one or both?
One.
Which one would he hit? Oh, it'd have to be the 100 points, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I just think there's more of a likelihood he just gets 100 points, because that goes with the season he's had. He's been a little bit less of a goal scorer, but that's also good because he's been a great contributor and a playmaker, and the offense, has been more balanced throughout the team this season, and he's been more of a playmaker. So I want to see him ripping it come playoffs. That's prime pasta playoffs, man. Just him ripping a shot from the left circle. I need that. I need it. But I think it's very likely if he plays, he gets the 100 points. And it would be nice if it's a goal to make him 100 points, to get him 100 points. But that's a little confusing. But
60-40% that he's going to rest on that game.
60, meaning
he's in favor of resting.
He's in favor of resting.
Rest. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the smart thing to do.
Agreed.
To me, it seems like the past 3-4 games, Pasta seems tired. He does seem like he needs a little bit of a break, especially going for it. And again, hockey players are all about the team and the efforts, but it's nice to have personal accolades. I'm with you on an agreement with if he's able to play, he's gonna play, and he wants to play. But I think upper management is going to sit him down and be like, well, listen, we need you for the playoffs. Take some extra days off, get some rest, come back fully focused, and light up and have a great playoffs, right? That's the smart thing to do. But if he plays, I think he's going to hit both because he's going to score.
I'm with Steve on 60-40 that he rests. I think if the management presents him with the option, he will play. I think if Sturm and everyone else sits him down and says, we really need you to rest, he'll be like, okay. But if he wants to play, he will. I think that'll be ultimately the case. It's going to be up to him. I don't think anyone in the organization is ever going to tell him no, that he can't.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he'll make the best decision, not only for himself, but for the organization going into the playoffs, because ultimately the prize is the Stanley Cup, not as many 100-point seasons as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
If he does play, I think he does get both. And I think the 1 point he will get will be an empty netter goal.
I thought the same exact thing. Empty net goal.
It's going to be... He's going to have 1 point because he's going to play a semi-solid game. He's not going to play as hard as I think he normally would because, again, I think it's just to keep his legs moving. And I think they're going to stick him out there for an empty net goal.
Mm-hmm.
Or in overtime where they have possession in the offensive zone, he's going to go out there and he's going to do it from his office. It's going to be one of those elements. So if he does do it, that's going to be my bold prediction. My last question for you guys on this specific topic is it too early to think that his number will be retired? Now, before you guys answer, think about the accolades that I put you guys in.
I'm with you, Steve. I'm like, whoa.
Just before you guys start grilling me, if he goes to 4 100-point seasons consecutively, that's 1 behind Esposito, and that's 2 behind Bobby Orr. Pastrnak is already going to be basically the best Boston Bruin goal scorer because he's got probably 8 more years left in the tank. Is this a player that we will likely see in the rafters at TD Garden by the time his career is over?
He needs to get a cup, and then we can really start talking.
I disagree with you on that, Jack.
Because Rick Middleton's up there. He didn't have a cup.
Ray Ford is up there, and he never won a
cup with the Bruins.
So
right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it does play a factor, I believe, but also not ultimately being the reason whether or not he gets in or not. So I will reel that back a little bit, but say that at this rate that he's playing at, if that's what he continues to produce at for the rest of his career, and he has personal accolades and leads us on playoff runs, and maybe also gets us a cup as well, I think there's a very good case for him to be retired. His number being retired, but
it's so early for me to even think about that.
Yeah, definitely.
He has so many seasons left, right? God willing, he stays healthy and can still play and perform. it's just too early for me to even say that because I don't want to like jinx anything, and I don't want to get all superstitious and
That's
all
fine.
these things. It's just so early for me. I think if he keeps up the pace, there's definitely a good case for him. That's all I'll say.
It's just an interesting question because I saw the stat that he's only, currently 2 100-point seasons consecutively behind Esposito. And if he gets a point on, Tuesday, he's now 1 behind Esposito and 2 behind Orr. On a team that, now, mind you, this is on a team that really had zero expectations to make the playoffs. So it's been impressive for him to be able to reach these elements. So that's why I asked the question. It could be too early. It could not be. I mean, fans, you can grill us if you want. You can say I'm absolutely crazy. I probably am. But, I think it's a valid question to really kind of consider here. It's like, as you think your way through it, right? I mean, he's clearly one of the Bruins' most prolific goal scorers. So that's something to keep in mind as we traverse through it. Guys, let's go to our final topic. The 3 Muska Bears. This is the boys' award, or awards, I should say, for basically first, second, and third star all season for the Boston Bruins. This is not a general consensus. This is just our own thoughts and our own 3 stars and who we believe the 3 best players have been. And we will go in order. And we'll discuss it number 3, then number 2, and then number 1. So, guys, for your third star, who did you have?
I guess I'll go first to let Steve think for a sec, even though he has an idea. It's hard. I think my 2 and 3 can be interchanged, mainly because what you have is opposite to what I have, but I'm also not trying to pick what you have, but they're also really hard not to pick those players. So I'm just trying to go at it with really how I would place them. My number 3 is Pasta. He really stepped up as a playmaker this year and shined through with that, stepped a little bit away from the scoring, but was a really big team player throughout this entire year, stepping up and being very, very valuable, as he always is. He's kind of one of always our most valuable players out there. And he just continues to be phenomenal. And, that is someone I'm so happy that is, the backbone star of our team, and he's going to continue to be. And, with him here, we have a chance to compete for a cup. We got to make some adjustments to this roster and moving forward into next year. But with him here, you have a chance at a cup. So love me some Pasta.
Pasta at 3 is crazy, but all right.
Well,
crazy.
I'll explain why my number 2 and 1 then,
as we'll tackle it 3, then 2, then 1. We'll go through each of it first, and then we'll assess there.
Pavel Zacha, number 3.
Wow. I think that didn't expect that one. Okay.
He's been a solid second line center all season. One of the best lines in the NHL. And he's really turned it up later in the season, but he's been consistently good. And you don't get to be a top 5 line in the NHL without having a consistent performance day in, day out for the whole season.
I think that's a solid choice. I'm just a little shocked at number 3 because, again, there's a couple other Bruins on here, and people will probably wonder why these individuals weren't picked either. For me, it's McAvoy for my number 3 star. Career year, battled through several injuries and won a gold medal. I know that wasn't with the Boston Bruins; it was on Team USA. But I think with what he's gone through this year, the amount of pummeling he's taken, and the fact that he's nominated for the Bill Masterton Trophy, it just adds to it. And the fact that he just comes back and he battles and he's showing captain-like qualities. So for me, it's the 3rd star. You can argue you expect this kind of play from McAvoy, but I'm sorry, the amount of if you keep taking pucks to the face, man, and you just keep coming out the next day, it just puts you above a lot of other players because that makes you a hockey player, man, through and through. So that's my 3rd star. Number 2 star. Who wants to lead us off?
I will, because I have a point
Fuck
to
me.
make. Yes.
Because fuck me, is that why?
Yes. But also, my number 2 is McAvoy. Listen, Pasta's pasta. He's always going to be there. He's an all-star, and I'm not trying to have any disrespect being at Pasta as my number 3. I just think that the season McAvoy's had it being a career year, and alluding to what you said, the battle and bruise that this guy has taken, he's withstood so much punishment, still to bounce back and not only play, but play to the best that he's really had since, and so far in his career. He's had a career year and as well won a gold medal too, which isn't a Bruins accolade, but I think it's a very valid thing to factor in. I just think that the sheer will that this guy has shown and how he stepped up just pushes him into number 2 for me. And again, he's had 50 plus assists. That is hard to have as a defenseman. And I think also he's a valid pick for a captaincy and is going to be considered for it. And I just think the sheer will and the season that he's had is my reasoning for putting him above Pasta, because it's hard to not put Pasta in your 1 or 2. But, I just think, he's been there and he's always going to be there, and Chucky will too. But, God, it's been very inspiring to watch him this season. So that's why my reasoning for him being number 2.
Steve, I'm going to go because I'm going to say as a fuck you to Jack, because Pasternak's my number 2. For all the points that you said too in the previous point, Jack, for him being your number 3, he is the Bruins. What he does, shifting from elite scorer to elite playmaker, has been spectacular. To be able to play that dynamically, play both roles, and to effectively get 100 points on back-to-back years on a team where you're really that only talent is impressive. And the way he elevates other players around him, and you mentioned it, Steve, like Husnudinov, Geeky, all the guys that play with him, Fraser Minton, all of them. To a degree, Elias Lindholm, if Elias Lindholm ever wants to work with David Pastrnak in several capacities. There's reasons why Elias Lindholm is not on here. Surprise, Elias Lindholm's actually my number 1. No, I'm just kidding. Could you imagine I would get run out of Boston? There's really just not much to say. I think everyone else knows why Pastrnak is number 2. It's just he is the Boston Bruins, and he's the face of the franchise right now, arguably. So people will wonder why he's not my number 1, but I think my justification for number 1 will definitely be more than warranted. But Steve, who is your number 2 Musca-Bear?
David Pastrnak as well. For pretty much all of the reasons you said.
Jack.
The most important thing for me is
just shut up. Just how about you do that? You just shut up. I love Pastrnak. Just shut up. Sorry, Steve.
No, you're good. I get it, but I'm not. I respect you putting McAvoy at second. For me, it's just the most important thing is the ability to elevate other guys in lineup and effectively score 100 points off of mostly assists. And the fact that he's turned into an elite scorer, he turned from an elite scorer to an elite playmaker, is just another level to his game that is very respectable. And I can appreciate the fact that he wants to not be a puck hun and pass the puck and get other guys on the score sheet.
I apologize for my harsh words. It is not nice to say shut up. Unless for Cam. Deserves it,
you could be taken out of timeout, Jack. Steve, great points for David Pastrnak. And I'm not just saying that because my pick was also David Pastrnak. Not saying that for any reason whatsoever. This is just happy that you agree with me and not Jack. Kidding. You're kidding. You look like you're turning over to me and you're gonna be like, I can't wait to hit him. I'm gonna smack him the next time I see him. I'm gonna flick his nose. You're just gonna bully me.
How did you know? How did you know? That's what I say every time.
It's like
no, we have an important game coming up, Cam. I'm not
have an important
game. I'm gonna be on my best behavior.
Playoffs, baby. Playoffs, baby. Guys, most importantly, the number 1 star of the year, the Boston Bruins. If this is not unanimous, there's a freaking problem.
It's not unanimous.
You are a schmuck.
You're a schmuck, and I'll get into it. But go ahead.
Good. I hope we get into it because there's no okay.
How's it feel, Cam? How
it
does it
feels
feel?
pretty freaking bad, Jack, that this is not unanimous because it's surprising me. For me, it's Jeremy Swayman. Stood on his head many occasions, arguably one of the biggest, if not the biggest reasons. Like I said, one of the biggest, if not the biggest. We remain competitive. He joined the Vezina conversation. He'll unfortunately miss the mark on it, but his goals saved above expected, insane. His save percentage, good. Goals against could be a little bit better. Faced, I believe, the second most, or if not the most shots in the NHL. Has bailed out the Bruins on several occasions. And on this team, with as bad as the defense has been on several occasions, to be in the Vezina conversation is impressive to me. So for me, Jeremy Swayman has earned every bit of that contract money after receiving so much criticism last year. What a bounce back year he has had. It's just non-negotiable to me, but I can't wait for Steve to break my heart.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Cam. As much as I was up in arms with you a second ago. Pretty much same
See how
reasoning.
quickly we make up, ladies and gentlemen. It's just that quick.
It's just that quick. We really love each other. Complete bounce back year. Don't make me laugh.
Woo!
Try to be serious here. Complete bounce back year. Again, everything you just said. Complete bounce back year. He bailed you out on many occasions. Which again, it's like, oh, that's what he should be doing. He's paid as your number one. Yeah, it is what he's doing, and it's what he's always and more. And he's shown he's been able to do it. And he had a messy start of last year, and again, all of that. We don't have to get into it, but he has gotten back to it, and I think it's just complete backbone of your team. And I think it really is true to say that like he is the reason why you guys are so competitive, or just are competitive enough to now have not only made a playoff spot, but to have a real shot at maybe winning a round or two, because you've got someone like Swayman on the back. That is to say he can't have his shaky moments, but we're praising him right now. He's when he's on it, he is absolutely on it, and he's continued to be on it. And it's good as well that our that Corpy's played good as of late. But I don't know, I'm straying off train here. It's just our goaltending in general. I think it's just that is your concise number one. Like they really helped you out this year. Swayman being a big part.
Steve, can I take a guess as to who yours is going to be?
Yeah.
It's Morgan Geekie, isn't it?
No.
Fuck. Really? Do not say Korpisalo.
Who the hell is the number one on the what?
Unless he's dicking with me and it was Jeremy Swayman, and I'm going to be shocked.
It's not Sway. It's not Geeks.
And
is it Arvidsson?
Charlie McAvoy.
You thought I was crazy for putting him at number 2. You thought I was crazy for putting a number 2, Cam. Shut up.
Okay. All right, never mind. I thought he was going to go with Morgan Geekie or something completely out of left field that no one was ever going to expect. This I actually don't hate. I do, but I'm going to refrain.
It's fine if you hate it, but this is my opinion. And the fact of the matter is, we got into this huge argument at the beginning of the season about the captaincy of the Boston Bruins, right?
It's still a constant argument we have where we're like,
if there is one person that has come out a smidge more than originally where I had him, it's definitely Charlie McAvoy. This guy has been put through the ringer. He's been injured how many times? The past 18 months of his life has been terrible, right? The broken shoulder, the shoulder infection, the constant pucks to the face and broken teeth and all these things. But the sheer will he has and grit and determination epitomizes the Boston Bruins. We are a gritty organization. We are a hardworking organization, and they put the team first. Okay, this guy has gone above and beyond to put the team first and play through horrendous injuries and just set the tone and set the example. And to Jack's credit, when's the last time a Bruins defenseman got 50 assists? Also, the way he moves the puck,
first time since Ray Bork.
Exactly. The way he moves the puck to make these plays and scoring opportunities is has gone above and beyond this year, but also the fact that he's getting more involved to score all these goals and bail you out consistently when you're down by a goal or you're tied to go up a goal. That his sheer will and determination and grit have brought this team to a new level, and he's pretty much anchored the defense. When he's out there, I actually feel secure in the defense.
I mean,
Well,
you said it, and when I look to like someone for answers or, who's going to, step up and be a voice of reason and to lead the team and be like, all right, I got this, boys. I'm looking to McAvoy. We questioned it before the season starts, but yeah, like he's the one I'd feel safe around and being like, no, I trust this guy with my life, being if he was, my captain and I'm one of his teammates, like that's who I would want to go to. He's emerged as that.
Yes.
So
I don't hate it, I guess.
no,
I
I
want to
guess.
play damn horn. Sucks, Steve.
But-
No, McAvoy's good. I mean, it's a solid pick, I guess. I love Swayman. If there's any
You
player
love the
that I
horn,
should-
Cam.
Stam.
Wow.
Stan is an Eminem song. I am Cam. First of all. Second of all, I just love Swayman. He's been the only player that I think I have consistently defended all year because of the way the defense played in front of him. So I think it's just okay. I'll give you Charlie McAvoy, Steve. I'll give you that.
I was trying to say you love the horn more than anything. But
I do love the horn. I really do. When we try to agree, that's like damn near impossible. Although later in the later half of the year, we've done a pretty damn good job at it.
Geeky was a debate for me for number 3. I'll toss that out there. But I didn't have Swayman as a top 3. I had him as top 5.
I think. I mean, as long as Swayman is in there somewhere. I mean, Geeky
To me,
had a
Swayman up there. It's really a tough pill to swallow for me, and I'm not lying on that.
Geeky had a career year, but I think again, it's a lot of his points come from playing with Pastrnak, and it's just like,
yeah, exactly.
It's hard for me to look at Geeky and say you're doing this. Like, I'm glad he scores. I'm glad he's doing what he's doing. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that he could still potentially score 40 goals. That's still on the table if he plays Tuesday. He's 2 away from it. That's still very much a possibility. I love that for him. I love seeing, good players and good people succeed in the league. Nothing wrong with that. It's just in terms of individual effort.
It's been there. Like
yeah.
it has been his best season and best effort, but a lot of it has come. You're playing with Pasta, and that.
But compared to McAvoy's career year,
yes,
what Pastrnak does, and yes, it's a little unfair to put Pastrnak there, but I mean, it's just he's facilitating a lot of this, And then I like Steve's pick at Zacha because Zaka's doing a lot of it with his line, but also since the second half of the season, he's turned it on and he's turned it on big, and he's having a career year as well. And you could argue he's doing a lot of it himself. He's a center. So I look at him and I say he's doing a lot of things.
He's a driving factor of that line. If he's doing well, I mean, he's helped bring that second line to where it is, and the other guys too have done their part, but he's, the anchor to that line. So.
But no question in my mind, Pastrnak and McAvoy had to be in here somewhere just because of what they've been able to do. And just more so, I agree with everyone. Like we've said it, McAvoy, the injuries, they not just the season he's had, but you're right, Steve, the year. Go back to
how he's responded.
Yeah, 2025, the shoulder infection, and how he said that was a very scary moment for him. Because of all I think the prognosis or whatever it was, I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly
if it got any worse from what it was at, it could have permanently affected his playing career. Thankfully, they caught it and they were able to, so.
And the amount of dental work that he had to do. I mean, his bed has been turned into a dental chair. But you look at that and then you see him come in, and then Pastrnak just still getting close or at 100-point seasons with the roster that's around him is just spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the way he elevates it. And then you could find, I'll give you this. You can debate Sway wherever he is. Fine. But again, you just look at these guys and you're just like, the future isn't that so doom and gloom.
No, it's not.
And hopefully next year, maybe we see Hagens in our 3 Musketeers if he can be a solid rookie.
I hope he is. We'll see.
So I'll have to see where that goes. Guys, final thoughts before we close out tonight's episode.
It would be nice to see Pastrnak get 100 points, but you know what? Personal accolades don't take the cake for having a good playoff and maybe, you know, making something out of that. So if I can take, you know, getting to the second round, competing for whoever knows, you know, something even more than that, I will take that over 100 points.
I need the level of tenacity to go up, way up. It's almost playoffs. They're in a funk. They need to snap out of the funk.
They
And,
started to tonight, but
Yep.
they need to continue.
but they're missing 6 guys of the roster, and I'm hoping that little bit of rest does them a little bit of good. So I'm looking forward to the playoffs, but I need to see a little bit more of a spark and some tenacity for these boys to have a good playoff.
Playoffs are back for me anyway. Kind of really mixed emotions going into it. Kind of want to have expectations, but I also don't want to have expectations at the same time. I agree with Steve. I'll echo that, where I need to see some tenacity really come into play here. They're going to have quite a few days of rest, at least 5 days of rest, you know, coming into it. So I hope that does the team justice, and I hope they come in ready to play, no matter who that's against. And hopefully it goes. The playoffs start, I believe, officially on April 19th. And I believe Steve said it last week, or Jack said, I can't remember which one of you, that does not necessarily mean that we're playing on the 19th, but be prepared. But we will be here to discuss the playoffs with you guys all the way through it. Also be on the lookout for some of our potential live shows and live streams that we will be doing with you guys for some watch parties on some of these playoff games. So you can see us melt down in person, which would be epic. But outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for this week's episode of HiBruiNation. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to us on all of our platforms. Check out our website, don'tbugwithmedia.com, for all of our blogs. If you want your thoughts and comments heard on the podcast, don't be afraid to connect with us through YouTube, TikTok, and or Twitter, or even through our website if you so desire. We look forward to hearing from you all. And until next time, guys, go Bruins, and fuck you, Jack.